Hello everybody and welcome to EPIC34, powered by Intel and our wonderful friends from Overclockers. My name is Jasmine, otherwise known as Veracity, and today we have something a little bit different up our sleeves. This is going to be a speed build of PCs, and I've managed to find myself two fantastic, willing or unwilling, I don't know, it's up to you guys, people that have volunteered their time to take part for this. You guys don't really have much of an idea about PCs, do you?
Literally zero. Do I need to lean into it?
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so literally zero idea about PCs. That's kind of where we're at. I'm also joined by the wonderful Blue, the other half of Blue and Queenie, as well as Mark from Intel and Andy from Overclockers UK. So you guys are going to be gently guiding these unwilling suspects through the process of building a PC. We might have some prizes up our sleeves for whoever gets the furthest in this speed build, but please do bear in mind that the PC should actually function too. How are you guys feeling about this process? Talk to me.
I've not even known. I'm very nervous. Very nervous. I honestly have no idea what any of this is.
Okay, what specs do you have in your current PC?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even be able. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, that's a very good start. Okay, a couple of fans. Yeah. Do you know how many? Okay, name me some components that go into a PC.
They're literally
GPU,
in front of you.
GPU, yeah. RAM, motherboard, CPU. No.
Sure.
Thermal paste.
Thermal paste, yep. Okay, all right, yeah, you did pretty good. I know your friends down there were actually briefing you on all the components of a PC as well. I know. And how about you? What components do you currently have in your PC?
I've got a 1070.
He knows more than me.
And that's it. Yeah.
And how many components from a PC can you list off for me?
Is that the CPU?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's just a power supply, maybe?
Yes.
You're not looking too confident now, are you? All right, there is a lot at stake. Andy, should we start a timer up for these folks to get started?
Sure.
Yeah, all right, you guys feel free to gently coach them through this. I'm here to just meme it, I'll be honest. Where are you guys? Actually, I'm going to stay stood here so that you guys can actually give me your thoughts. So what's the thought process here? Where are you going to start?
Just start trying to fit things in, really. Honestly.
Do you know what goes where?
These click in, right?
Okay, yeah.
And aside from that, no.
Okay, and what's your thought process? How are you going to kind of start to tackle this?
I'm going to do what he's not doing, and then when he's figured it out, I'll do it. Yeah.
I like it. Okay, get building, guys. Let's see. All right, Blue, talk to me. What's your strategy here?
This is pure entertainment. These guys have not built a PC before. Yeah, my guy Max, I'm not sure he's up to date with his specs.
He's currently struggling to pull out the arm. I'm not going to tell you what that is. What is that? CPU. Yeah, good.
Turn it round.
I like this. It's a learning process for them together. Okay, he's decided he's going to come back to the CPU. Going in for the
Not quite
RAM.
the right area. Where do you think they go?
Me?
Both of you?
He has gently placed the RAM stick.
You won't need to force it in. It will go in. If it's not feeling like it's going in, maybe the wrong way round.
Do you have a strategy for Max here?
Maybe start with the CPU.
How do you know which way round the CPU goes? His hands are shaking, bless.
Good. Yep.
Okay, talk to me. How far along are you now?
Um,
Okay, you got your RAM sticks in.
and that thing.
Okay, RAM sticks and CPU are in over on this side.
Just a quick question. Notice you guys have got RAM in particular places. How come you're putting them both in the same sort of coloured spots?
To be honest, I think his name's Simon told me to do it.
Ah.
Okay, can we get a check on this, please?
We'll allow it.
What's your strategy here?
Gentle coaching, maybe a little bit of gentle nudging, and not laughing too much when it goes horribly wrong.
I like that. To be honest with you guys, though, it is okay if you're not entirely confident with your first PC build, okay? I feel like it happens a lot of the time for a lot of people, so YouTube tutorials are lifesavers, or you can, of course, message Overclockers too. We're already onto the case, placing everything into the case now. Yeah, it is going well. Okay. He's theorizing whether or not the power supply goes into the bottom of the case. You have a screwdriver if you need it. Alright, both teams are now on the stage of putting the motherboard into the case. Have you used a screwdriver before?
The brilliant moment you just say, I've just moved the cooler by your feet, and the response is, my cooler?
Okay, you know how to take the
it's
time off.
open.
That's a good start. I've just heard, why are there so many cables?
It's a question we all ask ourselves.
They are incredibly fiddly, though.
This is as far as I get.
Just so the audience are aware and everybody watching, we did take the one rookie mistake that everybody makes at least once out of the equation. We don't have IO shields to forget. Yeah, everybody's done it at least once, I'll admit.
I once made, Andy, you know the recent PC that I built? You know the spongy bit on the back of the IO shield?
Yeah.
My motherboard wouldn't go in because of the spongy bit. And I was just like, maybe I need to peel it off. I started peeling, and then I Googled it, and I was like, oh, wait, no, never mind.
Yeah, no, that's
not
metal
peel.
on metal.
Yeah, do not peel.
Yeah.
What's the rookiest mistake you have encountered when building a PC? Either
Rookiest-
somebody else has built the PC or...
Oh, I'm happy to admit my rookie mistakes. Forgetting IO shields, forgetting to plug the graphics card power in, plugging your visual cable into your motherboard when the graphics card is in and powered, forgetting the worst one, forgetting the 8-pin for your CPU power. It's up. It's up there.
The worst one is when you forget the cooler when you forget to peel the little bit of plastic that's on
You
the bottom.
smell.
Yes.
I've not done that so far, but yeah, I've seen some people.
So far.
Yeah, and they're like, why does my PC smell like burning plastic? And it's like, well, the bit that says take me off, you probably shouldn't leave on.
How about you, Mark? What's the rookiest mistake you've heard of or encountered when building PCs?
Well, so that plastic one on the bottom of the cooler, I have done that myself once before when I was in a rush. That wasn't good. I would say also, the graphics card, absolutely forgetting to plug the power in and people puzzling why it won't display anything on the screen happens quite a lot.
I think one common thing that I encountered a lot of times was actually one of my friends bought a 240 hertz monitor. And we were playing Valorant, and he was like, oh my god, this new monitor's so sick, the frame rate, everything is just so much smoother, I'm so much better at the game. And I team viewed his PC, and because he was having some sort of issue, and I was like, wait, you've been using 60 hertz the whole time, and he had bought a 240 hertz monitor.
Wow.
Rookie mistake. It happens every time. Every LAN event, there's at least one person that does it.
To be fair, I know somebody. I'm not going to name and shame, but they are like quite a famous YouTuber. We were at an event and he was talking about like he had this new PC bought for him. It was a really high spec. It was at the time it was really high spec, obviously. So it was like SLI 1080 Ti's, I think, proper flagship, fully water cooled and everything. And he was like, I was getting really bad FPS and etc. and etc. And apparently his chat was. So I think this was. Yeah, no, it was just at Twitch, so he started streaming on Twitch. Apparently his chat was saying things like, but SLI isn't enabled. And he goes, of course SLI is enabled. After his stream, he went in and quite sheepishly figured out that, no, SLI wasn't enabled, so he was just running one card. And all this time, the chat were flaming him for exactly that. So, yeah, rookie mistakes. Once you've done them once, you hope to learn your errors, but sometimes you really don't.
Especially when you're in a rush, right? Building a PC is definitely not something you could do within a time constraint.
Yep.
So I feel sorry for you guys. You're doing good so far, though.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think that is?
I think it's a radiator because it looks less like a fan.
Okay. Any idea where that goes in?
No.
Okay.
Didn't say anything about.
Do you want to give some tips of guidance?
Well, look at the bottom. There's a flat bit on the bottom of that, and it's about the size of something else that's in there.
Other side. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Where are you? Oh, you guys are at exactly the same place, by the way.
Get it?
I'm following a lot of what he's doing, honestly.
So you're just copying what he's doing. Okay.
I feel bad for the guys because they're probably stressing out and weren't listening about things like rookie mistakes, like not taking off the sticker on the bottom of a cooler and the CPU 8 pins.
What's the issue? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just rushing. I'm trying to get in as much as I can. I feel like it's pretty neck and neck so far.
Have you figured out where this goes yet?
No.
Okay. If you had to hazard a guess?
I'm sure what that is.
Okay. That's okay. That's all right. This is a learning process.
Bad time.
No, nobody said anything about a bad time.
Oh, okay. Do you want to just repeat what you just said?
Everyone knows Intel's better, but I do have an Intel person.
Not biased at all.
Just wondering if you have a manual in there.
Just
wondering if there's a manual in there, is what I said, followed by a what?
What does that go on to?
Is there actually? There is a manual.
I'm hoping my guider will tell me,
Yes.
but I'm assuming like that.
You're going to coach him through the bit that needs to...
Lift this up.
Okay.
So, do you guys usually build your PCs laying down or stood up?
Well, you should build it lying down, as everyone will tell you, but the more you do it, the lazier you get, and then you try and do it standing up.
Have
That
you?
applies to other things in life too, but let's...
I'll be honest, I did a little upgrade just before LAN, and may have also done the thing that you shouldn't do and like build it straight on carpet.
No.
I mean, hey, I'm going to curse it now. It's on and it's fine.
You definitely jinxed it
I was
now.
going to say this is where smoke and fire starts coming out from over where I'm sat. But yeah, in the general rule, don't build on carpet.
Yeah. What's the actual reason for people that might not know why you don't build your PCs on carpet?
What? Yeah, somebody said static. Well done. So yeah, you know something about building a PC. Don't do it on carpet because it's static and it can short components and all that sort of stuff.
Are you stumped at this point as well, Mark?
I've just not used this particular cooler before, but it's fine.
This is like that meme where everything's on fire and you're just like, this is fine.
I should have been really cruel and brought like a stock Intel and then a non-Intel stock cooler. Just to see if things would get confused.
You should have brought extra components and they would have been flawed.
Yeah, that might have been a bit mean.
You guys, okay, I'm curious. Have you literally just been looking over to him and copying, or has Blue been giving you tips? I think Blue is doing the spying for you at this point. He's looking over to see what they're doing and then relaying the information.
The one and only Hive says when someone puts their PSU in upside down. I mean, depends which way you want it orientated, really.
Who put the power supply in upside down? Hashtag let's go Max. Hayden, yeah. He says thank you, Hayden. Oh, can we get a poll going in the Twitch chat as to who you guys think is going to finish or get the furthest?
It's going to
yeah,
finish.
yeah, not finish. Maybe get the furthest. That would be great. What are you hoping to achieve from the manual?
Easy for Max. I'm not really sure. A manual always helps. It's good to know what you're doing.
Okay. What's thermal paste used for?
Protecting your CPU.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
What does it protect it from, though?
Heat.
Oh. Sounds like somebody might be not letting on quite as much as he knows.
Yeah.
The chat also says easy for Max. There's no chance.
Oh no, we
he's
have a
way
screw
ahead.
that has been lost. Screw down, screw down.
If it's gone on the floor, guys, honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You gotta. Oh, do you want to have a route around? I'm not gonna say that there's anything useful in there for you, though.
Do we know where it's fallen? Is it black as well? Yes. Oh no.
Ooh.
That is not ideal.
Okay, we can do it for free.
He has literally just said, "It's fine. We can do it with 3. It will be fine." And Mark has very much insisted, "We cannot. It will not be fine."
All it has to do is turn on, right?
I suppose you are right.
Are there no more in the bag?
Oh, we found
okay,
it.
Nice. What's the discussions being had here?
We're working out this radiator.
Do you know where it goes?
I use water. I'm a water cooler. I don't use big radiators, so kind of working this new one out.
Is there something missing from this that you can notice straight away?
I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay.
Any idea how you're going to connect this to that?
No.
Do you have any idea? The face of dread, by the way. He's just realized that he also has no idea what he's doing, so he's just like, oh, great.
I'm missing a screw.
The missing screw has hit the other team now.
Mr. Sainty says, go, Blue, go. And Jaxie Tax says, Blue for the win.
Ooh.
Do you know what this does?
Is there another bracket somewhere?
Yeah. There's there's this.
What did you just ask him?
Is that what I'm? Yeah, we're missing. Do you know how this works?
Okay.
I have faith in.
Yeah.
I like how the pace is like really ramped up over the past five or so minutes.
I feel like this is definitely a bonding exercise for both of them. Even though they're going up against each other, they're learning from each other's mistakes.
Yeah. I feel that it's going to end one of two ways. They're either going to suddenly find that they quite enjoyed it in a weird, therapeutic, stressing out way, or they fucking hate it and they never want to build a PC ever again.
But it's a learning curve.
It is a learning curve, yeah. And to be fair, for your first time under pressure on a stage, it is a steep learning curve. At least we didn't throw things in like, I don't know, doing things like put an all-in-one cooler in there because they're far more of a pain in the backside than a normal cooler. Or, I don't know, like RGB stuff and all that sort of stuff. We could have quite easily made them put all that stuff in, but no.
RGB would have been a RGB. Like RGB is my life.
I mean, I'm quietly confident that both of them will get to a stage where it is a finished build that should be able to turn on and that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'll find out.
Do you have any predictions on who's gonna get the furthest? No predictions yet.
I think both will finish. So then it'll be taking it from there.
Yeah.
Not going to be too critical of things as long as everything's on where it should be and not falling apart and not broken.
Oh, he's hiding the manual from him.
I mean, there is a manual both in each box, but yeah, I think the manual is now being shared.
He's just asked, can we just skip this step?
Which step was that?
Which step did you want to skip?
I've lost a screw, I think, maybe. I think I've somehow lost a screw.
Which screw do you think you...
Ah.
That's it. We're good. We're back on track.
They're
Screw
back
has
on
been
track.
found.
He's decided he doesn't want to quit just yet.
The screen tells us that we are halfway done in regards to time.
Guys.
And Claire for UK says, love RGB on PC.
Love RGB on PC, but the real question is, what is your color scheme? Do you have a go-to color scheme, Andy?
Blue and white, like cyan.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I stick with.
I love cyan and like pink mixed together. Beautiful.
Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have a choice in my GPU and RAM because atypically with RGB, often it works, but there's that small percent of the time where it just refuses to see your stuff and you're kind of stuck in rainbow mode. So yeah, it's mostly white build, cyan lights, and then unicorn mode in between. So it kind of works.
I feel like when you have a white case, it helps the colors of your RGB just stand out and like light up that much more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, white does help it pop.
Yeah.
It's just horses for courses. There are some really nice white builds. We've got 3 of them down there. And then there's obviously I think it's gunmetal or black next to it in just aqua. It does have Tron vibes, and I am a big fan of Tron, so.
Make sure you guys check out the PCs that they have down there as well. They are pretty fire.
We are just over halfway done. That's fine, yeah. So just for the benefit of everybody who can't hear the conversation, Mark's just said he might give him more hints. By more hints, I think a crap ton of help is the kind of interchangeable phrasing there.
Andy,
Yeah.
what's the quickest you've ever built a PC?
Quickest I've ever built and probably could build would be, depending on what it is. If it's something like this, probably about 20 to 30 minutes. In kind of ideal circumstances. Not next to somebody else who's also doing the same thing and, under the pressure of watching eyes. But yeah, you can do it pretty quickly. But I've built a lot of PCs and I've stripped mine and rebuilt mine, and it's just when you get down certain roads and it's stuff like, can your cooler fit in the top of your case? Yes. Can the cooler fit with the RAM on? No. So then you have to take the cooler out of the case and move it somewhere else, which is what I may have had to have done before we came to LAN. Literally the night before we came to LAN.
The night before?
The night before. It got a 10-minute boot test. Does it turn on and can I do things? And that was good enough. Whether or not it was actually going to turn on and work here and not catch on fire was a different story, but it's fine.
And how quickly did you put that together, did she say?
So the teardown was old cooler off. The fans were still in, so it was cooler off, motherboard out. Obviously, stripped all the PSU cables off that, RAM out, new board in with chip, which I already did the chip. That's literally like a minute-long job. It's arm out, flip up, chip in, down, clamp, done.
Meanwhile.
Yeah. Meanwhile, again though, I'm saying it because
you
anybody
built
who's
a
built
lot
a
of
PC,
PCs,
anybody who's built a PC knows that that's how it goes. But yeah, so once I got to that part, it was, oh, great, go to get the RAM in. RAM didn't fit, so I had to take... that was new board, new chip, new cooler, and then RAM, old RAM. So then it had to be... And then graphics card as well. So then it was, right, okay, I need to take it all back apart. for the second time that evening. So, card unscrewed, card clip depressed, card wouldn't come out.
No.
It was jammed in the PCIe slot, so I naturally just pulled a bit harder, and the retention clip that snaps up came straight off.
Oh no.
Luckily not broken, just slotted back on, which was a godsend that it didn't break, because it was like literally a brand new board and chip, so it would have been completely futile if I'd have broke it, because it would have been old. So yeah, that was then that out, cooler out of the top of the case, ran back out obviously, fans and halos back off the cooler because I had to reorientate. 3 fans out of the front of the case out, so front panel off, those were disconnected, back out, back in, rerouted, made sure it turned on before I put the panels back on. So in total it was about 2 hours from unplugging the PC, like turning it off and unplugging it, to, okay, yeah, it's fine, and I could then shut down. It shouldn't have been a 2-hour job, it should have been a 40-minute job to take out your core stuff and put it back in.
But that just happens sometimes.
It
You
does, yeah.
hit bumps in the road and they honestly cannot be helped. You know firsthand as well, I had bumps in the road when building my PC as well. Tech issues do happen, so don't feel like you've completely failed if that happens.
Yeah. Sometimes there are just gremlins, and it's one of those things. Can I just ask more? Who put the thermal paste on? Was it you or? Okay.
How much thermal paste did you put on?
Size of a pea.
Who told you that answer?
I actually suggested size of a pea.
Ooh.
I think that people in the crowd told you size of the pea.
Do you think it matters? Yes.
Why do you think it matters?
Too much would lead to spillages.
Ooh.
Maybe.
What happens if it's not enough, though?
Then it would overheat.
Oh.
Okay, interesting. Now, Andy, do you have a set pattern of how you apply your thermal paste? I know some people do the X shape, some people do the P size in the middle.
Shove it on. No, quite literally. I used to use a spreader. I used to be that guy that put it on and spread so there was a nice level surface, not caked on. No, as long as it's on there, it's fine. Normally with a CPU, if it's not quite on the corners, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, generally size of a pea, pushes on, it squidges out underneath, and it's not really that needed. But I actually do just around the edge and then an X in the middle. Not much though, and then it'll spread out. Might come off the side of the IHS a tiny bit, but it's not a big deal.
I'm not reading that out.
What does it say? Shocking performance from Max. He usually finishes first. I think the word finishes there might be the...
I draw a percentage diagonal line with a couple of dots. I prefer too much over too little. Are there any issues with this, Andy?
Too much, just squidges out, goes all over your motherboard. There's not too much. I mean, if you're going to absolutely empty a massive tube of it, you need help.
You need help
in every sense. But yeah, it is better to put like the size of your fingernail on there and then just leave it be. It can lead to some problems if it starts to get under this. It shouldn't get under the CPU, but obviously it may start to go under, especially if you're ever going to take the CPU out. Then it can cause problems because it can get into the socket, and then at that point it's not game over all the time, but chances are it's going to be game over.
And for people at home that are kind of curious about this whole thermal paste business, how often should you replace your thermal paste?
Never. It lasts forever and ever and ever and ever. Depends on... There's a few factors, but I would recommend every couple of years. The big one is just giving it a good clean all the time. And as we saw on Rate My PC the other day, there's some people who need to really clean their system. Just get rid of the dust bunnies. If you can physically take the dust out in handfuls...
That's too much dust.
Yeah, just burn it and buy a new one. Start again. But yeah, just keep it clean. Keep your fans clean. Make sure they're clean so airflow can, get through. That will help, that sort of thing. And Mark's really getting hands-on.
Mark, what's going on there?
Hang on. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Pressure, you've
so
got buckets of that, mate.
they've not actually managed to put their radiator on yet. But they have
Ooh.
managed to put the fan on the back of their case on, whilst you guys
No,
haven't.
that was pre-installed, so there's no brownie points there.
Oh.
Yeah. This one doesn't have an extra fan to screw in the back, don't worry. There's no merit points for that. Nor is there, because one of them's got a glass panel, one of them's got a normal one, so there's no brownie points for that either.
Why are you looking at the screw?
Max, you didn't craft glass and screw it onto the case.
Because we don't really know what screw goes into the fan here. It's pretty confusing. It's confusing.
It is confusing stuff. That's why we picked you guys.
It didn't come with two different socket type screws, did it?
Andy, is it totally required for them to put the fan on the very back of the PC?
No, it should go on your cooler, that one. That's the one that came with the cooler, so it should come on with the cooler. So, in the manual...
You know the
it
manual that
doesn't
you have?
It doesn't screw on. There's some little things that weren't on the table. I might be looking at them and pointing at them with the mic.
These things.
Jeez, yes, those things. Yep, there we go. Anybody in the audience want to shout out what those things are that attach the fan if they're not screws? Yep, fan clips.
So I imagine.
That's what happens when you share your manual. Is the light even useful for you guys there?
Is this some sort of? You don't think?
You have a manual.
I do have a manual.
Success!
I don't think it's on the manual.
Is it not written on the manual, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, you see it? Oh, yeah.
Fasten the cooler unit using fan clips. Connect the fan to the motherboard's PWM signal.
There you go. You know.
What's a PWM signal?
Power.
Nope.
I don't know.
Maybe, okay, right, take a look at the motherboard and see if you see PWM written anywhere.
10 minutes left, guys, no pressure.
It is like a maze.
If you're not familiar with like computers or it's in other electronics, PWM stands for pulse width modulation, and it can do variable fan speeds basically. The big difference is one
Do you want some
fan.
help?
Fans that aren't PWM are 3-pin. Fans that are PWM are 4-pin.
Are you still looking for PWM?
No, okay, for the power. But these fan clips, we've got to...
Where's the fan itself? All right.
Don't lose that.
How are we looking over here,
winning?
guys?
I don't have a clue where this thing goes.
Okay, that was the PWM. Do you see a PWM? Where's the flashlight? I'll hold it for you. I will. Pulse width modulation, as Andy just mentioned.
No, I've got it. There it is, right there.
Do it. Should say CPU on it ideally, but that's
It doesn't have a word on it. But
That's fine.
Or I don't know. Am I doing it the wrong way round? Is this bit breakable?
I have a question. I'm not going to ask you. How do you know if you put the motherboard in the right way round?
Well, it only goes in one way.
Okay. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of questions that people might have while building a PC.
I'll give you the sensible answer. So there's where your I/O is, where your USB ports and everything, right? There's a section at the back of the board, and that will match up with the back of your case. So there's a hole in the back. So if you align it with that, you're good to go.
And do you usually have to apply some pressure to make sure that it slots into the I/O slot?
Yes, sometimes. Depends on the board and the case, but sometimes you may need to give it a bit of a nudge, and then it will fit.
Basically, don't break your motherboard. Very important.
How's this going to reach electrically? Not meant to reach.
Can... Oh, God. Okay. You have 8 minutes remaining. Andy is definitely helping out Team Blue over here.
Are they clip into these like the gills?
8 minutes. Do you guys think you're able to finish within 8 minutes?
Plenty of time.
With I think we're going to have to help.
Did you expect these to be completed? And playable?
We didn't expect anything to be completed. It was just like an educational... Learning experience, exactly.
Fan clips are on. How are you guys doing? Oh, you plug it in first.
Yeah, they've not put the clips on yet.
They are a little finicky.
Were you expecting building a PC to be this fiddly?
A little, yeah. A little.
Is that why you've avoided building a PC?
Saves time.
I don't blame you. Blue, you look like you're full focus right now. Are you confident that you guys can somewhat finish in the 6 minutes remaining?
Okay. We got this. We got this.
I like the confidence. What is that?
Power.
Ah, nice, nice. You called it CPU before. You did. See, that's progress. Learning curve. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Okay. Power supply. Okay. So that comes through those. Yep. That's it.
Do you know why you put the two RAM sticks in different colors? In the same color, but apart and not next to each other?
No.
Okay. I'll ask Andy about it and he can explain the proper answer. It looks like something out of Alien, to be honest with you guys. Those are tentacles and weird looking. How are you finding the experience so far?
Daunting, confusing.
Is it like helping you understand a little bit more about PCs, what goes where, why maybe?
More of what goes where rather than why. But yeah, a tiny bit.
Hands-on experience is always the best way to learn, by the way. Except you just don't want to you don't want to break a PC.
Well, you get two useful helpers that do it for you, which is great. Try and do it for you.
Yeah. They are incredibly fiddly to work with as well.
Especially fiddly when your cooler's on.
Your cooler's on backwards.
If you have a look at the logo, it's facing Mark.
And what way should the logo be facing when you place on a cooler?
On this one, the name should read, as you look at it, it should read the correct way. This way, the text is upside down, which means the cooler is upside down.
I will say that thermally it won't make a difference though, so that's the main thing.
But visually, and that's the main thing.
All right, our judges are having a bit of a debate between whether or not it actually matters which way around the cooler goes. I have just heard you have a light bulb moment over here, sir. What was your light bulb moment about?
I was just trying to screw it in completely the wrong hole, pretty much.
Behave yourselves. What's missing from your build now? Oh, you've not put your graphics card in.
Oh, we're doing that last. That's our tactic. We're doing that last.
Why is that going in last?
It's a pretty bulky graphics card, so we need to put some wires around it first. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to power this thing on at all.
Guys, there is 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining.
Who's judging this?
He had literally just said in front of the judge, do you think we can get away with half putting this in? Do you think they will notice? The
and
answer
then
is
looked
yes.
at me and asked who's judging. Less than 3.5 minutes. I will say, those fan clips. Whew!
Stock cooler next time, please.
Stock cooler next time. Yeah, sure. I'll bring a stock cooler.
It doesn't matter for functionality, but it will bug the heck out of you forever if you put the cooler on upside down with a glass side panel. I agree. That would frustrate me.
Also on these ones, whilst it's not functionally going to make much of a difference, where the fans clip into, if you try and put it on upside down and then put it on the front, it can't actually reach around to the back fins. So one set of fins have a longer It's longer to the notch than the others, so you can't physically actually do it.
Loads of clips over there. Do you know what goes where?
Yeah.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Are you relying on Blue to tell you where they go?
Yeah.
2 minutes remaining. I can see the speed of which they're kind of putting everything in its place, speeding up a lot.
So I will say, Mark's team does have a disadvantage right now, in that they are both modular, so all the cables can be pulled out, but Mark's case has a PSU shroud and a hard drive cage in the way, whereas Blue's doesn't. So his PSU is way easier to access.
So theoretically speaking,
I should win, right?
you would think so. Have you got your hard drive in yet?
I am
Yeah,
going to
you
be
have.
fair. I am going to be fair on that. I will take that into consideration.
They've got their graphics card in. You haven't.
What do we need?
I wish we'd got like a counter to see how many times the PCs went up, down, up, down, up, down. $50 seconds remaining. Jeez says, just shove all the parts in, close the panel, and call it a day. Somehow I don't think that would be the best approach right now, especially considering that there are prizes on the line. Oh dear, they're rushing to get the GPU in. They're struggling. I feel like I'm commentating speed building right now. 30 seconds remaining. I'm seeing loads of panic over here.
We gotta take out one of these.
I've just heard they've tricked us. They've tricked us.
I don't even know what I'm unscrewing. What do we need to get out? We gotta get these black brackets out. Just break it.
I've just heard just break it. 2 seconds, 1 second, 0. Okay, hands off. Hands off your PCs. They're struggling. They're trying to cheat right now.
I see nothing.
So, guys, give it up. You can't. Oh my God! You've just tried to force in the GPU when.
It's a good job we didn't mind. Just remind me, which bit of the computer is really fucking hard to get hold of right now?
Do you know which?
Don't worry, guys. They're all GPUs. They're only worth like some of your blood and kidneys.
All right, let's take a look at the progress that we have.
Okay. So I'm going to take into consideration this one. We've just had to unscrew the hard drive cage and physically bend the side part that they clip into. Cool. Bye. Away from the PSU, and we still couldn't get our hands in. So, rip. But yeah, sure. Do you guys want to stand them up so we can all see? Will they turn on?
Do you guys want to stand up your PC as well? Things are going to fall out because they weren't placed correctly.
Theory.
Theirs looks a lot smarter than ours.
Probably be fine.
Theirs looks a lot smarter than ours.
It's all right. Turn it round so the ladies
Can
and
we
gentlemen
get a
can see.
close up
Oh
on
wait, yeah,
this
you got
one?
a camera your side
Do
as
you
well.
want to turn
haven't
it?
you? Woo!
What do we think, people in the crowd? Is that a PC build you'd be happy with? Okay, I'm hearing yes.
We saw that on Rate My PC, didn't we, yesterday?
All right, now let's take. Do you want to start with Team Mark's PC and tell me
Yeah.
what they have and haven't achieved in their PC?
So I know the one thing we haven't got is the cables, but obviously we've just had to pull those out. That was an issue with case and size and that sort of stuff. So there's no demerit there. We've got the graphics card in. The big question is it? Okay, there's one screw in the. I'm stood in the way, but there's one screw in the actual bracket, so it is in. It's not coming out. The RAM is both completely in. The cooler is. The cooler might be flexing, guys, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 motherboard screws not screwed in out of In the interest of time, yes, continue. It is, yeah, that's fair. The cooler's on. Having had a little bit more time in getting those power connectors in, that'll probably boot. But there's no hard drive plugged in. The hard drive is there, and the SATA cable is there. Moving on to PC number 2. Yeah, that's just there. Not great. Some nice spaghetti. Mamma mia. Let's see if the graphics card stays in. Nope. There we go. For shame.
It's a wireless GPU, someone has just said.
Probably, yeah, probably. Hang on a minute. How many screws have we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the torch? Loads of screws. Oh, hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, they beat you by 1. 5.
Which just fell out.
Yeah, that just does just clip in. However, they're not in all the corners. That would have been a little bit better. There's a top right one not in. Oh, okay. There's a standoff missing. Okay, yeah, there is a standoff missing on that one. Cooler is in.
You have no idea what that means. You're just nodding along. It sounds good.
Yep, cooler's in and plugged in. There's a 8-pin for the CPU power. That's fine. The USB 3 is plugged in. The SATA and the hard drive are all plugged in.
Would this PC boot?
It terrifyingly might actually power up. Try it. You guys got surge protectors on the stage?
I'm scared.
Yeah, yes.
Production, don't be mad at me.
Is there a spare power plug knocking around, like a socket? It's on the orange.
We're actually going to attempt to
So
boot
it
up
is.
this PC.
Hello. Do you want to just...
John is panicking. John, how scared are you right now? John is terrified right now that everything is just going to go kaboom.
So Blue did just tell me that the case, header for the power button isn't plugged in. So it doesn't look as though we can power it up. Except there's one on the motherboard, so it's fine. There's a power button on there, but I nearly did just break the lights. John, would you rather me not do this? Knock myself out? That could quite happen. I'm not sure knocked out would be the end result. We hear bang and I go flying across the stage.
Do you want to turn around and take a look at your hard work and see whether or not it's going to boot up?
But I want 250 quid if it happens. The motherboard's got power.
Are the lights turning on the motherboard?
It turned on. The PC turns on.
Are the fans spinning?
Yep, the fan spins, the PSU lights up. That actually turns on. That is a functioning PC, technically. And there's no fire. Although I nearly broke my neck. So
This one, however.
No, the power cables. Admittedly, the PSU and the case, the PSU's quite a girthy boy. The case is not accommodating that girth. They couldn't get it plugged in. So I am confident that Mark could have got it plugged in if the cable would have fit, but unfortunately it didn't, so it doesn't really matter, does it? These guys win.
Have you got any words for the fans?
I learn a lot. You never know what you can achieve, honestly.
Have you got any words for Blue that's been helping you through the entire process?
He's a genius. The man's a genius. And couldn't have got here without him telling me that I'm just doing it all wrong.
Blue, any words you'd like to give?
10 more seconds, we could have put that graphics card in.
10 seconds, really?
Could be playing Cyberpunk on that. 10 more seconds, I'm just saying.
I don't know, it looked like you guys were very insistent on trying to bend the metal at one point, so I doubt that 10 seconds would have helped out in that front. But have you got any words you would like to give about how you found the experience so far?
10 more seconds and we would have had it working too.
By that measure, everybody would have been finished. Just
I am quietly confident. If we didn't have to take that bit out and bend the PSU shroud, yeah, 10 seconds, and that probably would have actually had power at least to the ATX and maybe the 8-pin. But yeah, not the GPU. But it would have booted.
So technically speaking, both of them were kind of on even footing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but one of them turned on. Oh, but you didn't peel it till after time, so he was saving it for the special occasion.
That is the most satisfying moment, by the way, peeling off the peely thing.
I don't know. I like my power. I like my PC to work. That's pretty satisfying, and the cooler to be the right way up.
Yeah, but look at how shiny it is.
I think it's fair to say, for two people who've never built PCs before, you both did very, very well.
Yeah,
They just both look like crap, and you should be ashamed. Sorry, but I'm kidding.
I hope you guys realize that I want to come over and have a look at your actual PCs after this. Check
Same.
out the state of them. We'll go hop on board and check out their PC setups. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in.
Looks like John has something.
John, nice
in his
guy,
hands.
John.
John, you shouldn't have. I'm so...
You might have one, but God, pass those two. Nope.
Okay.
I'm only leaving Mark out because he's got as many of these as he wants.
We have some goodies for you guys. This is an Intel
that'll be for
goodie
you.
box.
Sorry, not to take it off you. There you go.
And that as well. And you can have an Intel goodie box too. Thank you. Very welcome. Very welcome. Thank you guys so much for taking part. It's been loads of fun. I promise I wasn't roasting. I was just, bit of banter and all that. You guys all did amazingly well. You should be proud of yourselves. And of course, don't forget to check out Overclockers. Ask Andy if you have any techie questions and things like that. I've definitely just volunteered you for some extra work right now. But yeah, thank you guys in the audience as well for being some amazing sports throughout the entire show. And for all of you fantastic people for tuning in. We will be back very shortly with our next show. But from us, that's all for now.